Hello everyone and welcome back to New Game with Flame. This is a bit of a surprise episode that we decided to do as a tribute to Jeremias Babini and his game Pio Pow. I am joined together today with the usual crew. Hello Diego.
Hi, good
Hello
evening.
Guido.
Hi.
How you doing guys?
Great.
Fine. Yeah.
The usual enthusiasm is...
Yeah, well, it's not that best occasion.
Yes, you're right. So, I'll explain a little bit how I can. So, we've decided to do this episode about Pio Pow. Even though we have talked about it in the past, we have decided to do it now because Limited Run Games is selling the game already probably since 1 week. So, you've got another 3 weeks to buy this game. And we've decided to do this episode also because we promised Jeremias that we would do it with him in April, but unfortunately this can no longer happen. So I thought the occasion was good to put this episode out now as a sort of a tribute focus episode for you guys to know what the game is about. And if you want, go and buy the game at Limited Run Games. They will give the money destined to Jeremias will go to his father and his relatives. I asked that on Twitter and that's what they said. Will go to his father really. So you'll be supporting the family. I think I said everything that I need to say. It's a bit of a sad occasion to talk about this game, but I'm sure Jeremias would have been happy that we talked about it. He gave us a review copy. Unfortunately in March, so really early, just before he passed away, unfortunately. And as I opened the zip file he gave me, there was a little note in it, and it kind of moved me a little bit to see this little note. This day and age, this date and time, sorry. And so I thought, well, it was Guido's idea to do this episode, and I think it was a great idea, and I think we should do it, and you know, just be happy about the game he's made, and let's talk about it.
Yeah, and also to bring some awareness to the game, because somehow the coverage got buried because of all of this. I feel there is not much hype around this game anymore. We can cover that, but I can already say it's a really enjoyable game. So I just want everyone to have the possibility to get this game while it's for sale. Hopefully later on there will be a digital release, but I wouldn't count on it because, well, I don't know what happens with it after Limited Run Games and who has a license or whatever. So I thought just release this episode so people can buy it. We're not sponsored by Limited Run Games or anything. Yeah,
that's right. So I think Limited Run Games is starting this, or has already now started this since Friday, the 14th of June, and you can go and buy it. The estimated ship date is the December, so end of the year. And I think the price for Pio Pow is about $55, $55 US, and then there's obviously shipping, etc. So you have to take that into account. However, I think we should just, since this is going to be a bit of a strange episode, even if it's going to be a focus episode, it's going to be not as a long one as we usually do, because we already covered Pio Pow in the past. This was going to be an interview with Jeremias, but obviously we can't do that. So we've all played the game this time, so we're going to give our opinion on the game as it stands at the release, that the build that he has given us, basically.
Right, and I assume that that's the latest release because, well, there was not much time between us getting this ROM and the sad news of him passing away. So, and it plays, well, what I played, it played really well. So it felt like a finished product to me. So
yeah. Definitely. Okay, so in our usual fashion, maybe one of you can talk about the gameplay. Diego Diego the teacher is usually very good at this, so maybe we can leave him the honors to explain how the gameplay is.
All right. Okay. Thank you. Okay. So, what is Piopow? It is essentially a turn-based arcade game. Let's say you can see some puzzle element in it if you want. Um, Essentially, well, there's a little bit of a backstory which is kind of wacky about very creepy sort of restaurant that has been opened, and after the opening of which, well, animals and have started to disappear mysteriously because of this restaurant, where apparently someone is eating them, using them for cooking, and
God.
you are a little chicken, and or what's the proper way to call
A
it?
chick.
A
A
chick.
chick. Okay, so you're a chick, and you are supposed to basically save everyone by defeating the evil chef that is behind this restaurant. So you play through a series of screens that are essentially maps of squares. So you always move one step at a time, and it's that kind of turn-based game, so that you take your move or you do an attack, and then all the monsters take their move or attack you or do something like that. So you have all the time to think. There is no timer, even though you have a maximum number of moves you can do in order to beat each screen.
No, there is a timer.
Yeah, that threw me off as well. There is like a clock in the top with a timer, but that's actually the steps you can take. What you say, so that's all the moves
Yeah.
you can take. So
Okay, okay.
it
Yes.
feels like a timer, but you can just take your time, and it only counts one down when you press a button.
Yes, that's what I mean. So if you need to think, it gives you time for making the best decision. And so in this map, you have always a certain number of critters, and one of them is holding the key to the exit. So your purpose is to get the key, which usually means to, well, defeat that critter and then get to the exit. You don't know which critter has the key, and maybe your first tactic when you start the game, at least this was the case for me, was to just try and attack the critters. And you do that by basically bumping against them. So you just move next to a critter, and then you move again into its direction. And every critter, as well as you, have a certain number of energy bars or something like that, health bars. And once it gets enough hits, then it's gone. And of course, they are also hitting you back. And there is a variety of critters, those who are stronger than others or tougher than others. So the game actually comes with a nice manual, and Jeremiah was maybe even more than a game designer. I think he was an illustrator originally.
I
So
think, yeah, he did a game on Steam as well. Was it Storyteller or something like that? I
Yes.
think it was, yeah.
yes, he definitely, this wasn't his first game, but you can tell, in my opinion, that artwork was also his forte, because I really think that all the critters look very, very nice, and the
Yeah.
manual itself was really nice to to read. It's very, very lovely illustrated, and it gives you a description of all the critters, and well, anyway, so about the gameplay. So you don't only just go straight into bumping the critters and trying to dispatch of them one by one. In these levels, there are bombs that sometimes there are some monsters which actually are living bombs, and you can activate by bumping onto them. Then usually they are like asleep, and when you bump them the first time, they start following you. They become active, they wake up, and they start following you. you can lure them into the best position before bumping them again, and then they essentially explode. Not immediately, but next turn they would explode. So you can use these monsters to blow up the other monsters. But you also have to be careful, because you can blow yourself up if you are into the explosion.
Yeah.
And they explode in the fashion of the Bomberman. So they spread some horizontal tiles and some vertical tiles, but
in a cross, isn't it?
In a cross, yes.
So if you have played Bomberman or Dynablaster type of games, you know this typical effect. It's like a cross-shaped explosion. So you need to get out of the line of fire of these explosions, otherwise you are going to lose a good chunk of your own health. And well, in addition to this, there are also other critters that can drop their own bombs that are smaller bombs, and they work a bit differently because they also can be kicked or shoot in one direction. So if you get to those little bombs before the monsters do, you can kick them in one direction and hit monsters that are farther away. And then there are monsters that are pretty tough, and they're not recommended for you to fight directly, but only with bombs. Otherwise you should try to avoid them, because they would drain your own health quite quickly, as they can hit you as well. Okay, so yes. To help you with this quest, there are also chests around the levels, usually I think one per level, and in this chest there is a boost. It could be a health boost, it could be a bomb that you can use, it could be one of those smaller but throwable bombs, it could be a special boost that lets you see which monster has the key to the exit, or it can be a boost on the number of moves you have left, for example. And there is a nice mechanic that when you earn these bonuses from the chest, you don't use them immediately, but you have a small inventory, and then you can use them later on whenever you wish.
Yeah, and it's strongly advised to keep some around.
Yeah.
Or later in the game.
Yeah. But I think they also carry. So if you die, I think they carry you to the next round as well. Do they not?
Not that I know.
I think they do.
I didn't notice that. They do?
I think they do. Yeah. So I played this probably a year ago. I think it was when we talked about it, and I remember they. So basically, when you die, you die, but essentially it throws you out of the dungeon, and you go out, and your chick starts crying.
Yeah,
and then you just re-enter the dungeon. Yeah, so it's not too difficult. But I remember when you're out there, and I had died, and I didn't use the item I found. I think it was still in my inventory, so I could use it for the next round.
Oh, that's good.
I didn't notice that. Okay, it's possible, but I think I use those items frequently, so I might even not have any left before I died, because I usually, when I saw my health bar going dangerously down, I try to use all the boosts that I still hadn't used before.
For me. And the thing is, your health doesn't get increased or something every time when you clear the floor and you go into the next floor. You still have the same health bar, so you have to be really careful early in the game to not lose a lot of health to get through the different worlds, because there's like 4 worlds, I think, or I don't know how they call it in the game, but 4 sections of the game.
Yeah,
and those each have 4 floors, so. And after 4 floors, then there's a sort of swimming pool or a spa or whatever it is.
Yeah, onsen.
You can sit in onsen. You can sit in there and you can recover some of your health back, most of your health back, but not everything. and then you can continue on onto your quest, and then the theme of the whole game changes. And so there's like 4 different themes, and also other monsters and other mechanics. So
different
with them.
music and different look of these worlds.
Yeah. And let's say also as well, this path that you're going through is at the top of your screen, so you always know where you are in terms of progress in the different levels. So that's very neat as well. And they put little icons there, and the last one's got a little skull. Make a skull with 5 pixels. I don't know how he does that, but really cool.
Yeah, and I really loved it. So the key of the game is actually taking advantage of all the monsters who have some kind of offensive power. Of course, those bombs are very strong, but also very dangerous for yourself. So it's a sort of balance act to lure dangerous enemies to you and lure them to throw a bomb to you and maybe kick it into another enemy, and hopefully find the key fast. And also, if the key drops, another enemy can just pick it up again. That's very annoying. And even they can also pick up the power-ups, which is also very annoying. If you
I didn't notice that. I did. I did. Now you tell me. Yes, you're right.
So then you have to kill them to get that power up again.
Yes, yeah.
But you don't have to clear the whole screen. That's nice. So if you have the key and the door opens, just to make a run for it, and then you can probably get better in the game. And you also feel very vulnerable, as it's like that little chicklet. It's just, it's really cute. It's and of course every floor is procedurally generated, so
it's always different.
Yes, every time you play, it's different.
And
which
even
is great.
which I tried is to make save states, and even if you make a save state and go into the next floor, that floor is still the same as before. But if you go to another one, that one is randomly generated. So if you have, somehow I think it generates 1 floor ahead or something.
One floor at a time.
Yeah,
but 1 ahead. So the next floor is already generated, but then the next one is new. So it's interesting how that mechanically works, and it's really nice that it's so replayable because of it. And also it has sort of addictive quality to it, because it's really easy to pick up a new game again, and then you go in the dungeon again, and then it's all new. And sometimes it's really nice to have like a bomb close to you, so you can easily clear a floor. But sometimes you have to avoid all those enemies to get to a bomb to finally get them killed off. So it's also sometimes very hectic when, for example, there's an enemy which spawns smaller enemies. If you don't kill that fastly, then it can get very intense. They corner you in sometimes.
There is an element of RNG here, isn't there? Like you can be lucky and have the enemies spawn in, say, a lucky position, and you near a bomb, so you can just bring it towards them. And also it's an RNG to maybe the first enemy you kill's got the key, and then you can just run out. So there's a lot of that as well to take into consideration, I think, when you're playing this game. So sometimes I found myself spawning first level with 2 enemies near me, the bomb right farther away, and there was a tile in between I couldn't get through. Like I had to basically kill the enemy as both of them before I could reach the bomb. So it depends, and other times I've been really lucky, and the opposite has happened. So it just your mileage may vary, you think you say. So that's it.
Yeah, you have to be you have to have RNGs to your side, and maybe he'll help you in this quest.
Yeah, I need RNG on my side in real life.
But it's not a long game. It's only 16 floors, and then you have a boss. But because of you have to repeat it all the time, it's really getting pretty tough in the end. And especially, well, I don't know if you guys seen the final boss.
Oh, hang on a minute. You're
didn't make
already
it.
already the final boss. Good lord.
But if you are there, be prepared, be full health, have some items because it's not easy. I cleared him with save states just to see what happens next, but not legitimately. I think it took me like 8 tries just with save states.
So what happened next?
What happens next is you unlock a new game plus, so then you can play it in a harder mode, and instead of normally you're playing a big chick and you're rescuing the small chick, but then it gets swapped around. So now you're the small chick and you have to rescue the big chick, and the small chick has less health points. You can maybe take one hit and one explosion and then you're done. And also there's more enemies in the stages. So it gets really hard. But the only thing is you get always an item before you go into the dungeon. So you get a random item to help you. So that's a little advantage you have. But other than that, it's really hard. I got into... I told you guys on Discord. I got to World 3, level 3 in that mode. So, well,
You're
I had still 5 stages left.
I played this when I played it 2 years ago. I played it with my friend, and we reached to the end, I think it was, where all the world is not necessarily tile. There's water as well, and then you can't go on the water tiles, if I recall correctly.
You can fly over some.
It was that? Yes, you can fly over the water tiles. But not. I don't remember exactly now, because in this playthrough that I did, for me it was much harder. I don't know. It's just my brain does not really.
Yeah, maybe they changed it. Maybe it got harder, or
maybe
things changed. It's like a year ago, so maybe there's probably a lot of changes in that year.
Yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe it's got harder to say that, so that don't look silly.
if I remember correctly, you also told about secret screens or something.
Yeah, there's apparently there's secret screens in it, and I think I uncovered them when I played it 2 years ago. Oh, sorry, not 2 years ago. It gets way back, a year ago. But I don't remember anymore. I think when you blast certain walls, I think if I recall correctly, there was stuff there, but maybe one was a door, and then you exited here in the main screen, for example. I don't want to spoil it, even if it. But I recall that at a certain point. Something happened, and I exited in where you actually spawn for the first time. So where you start off the game, and basically you had a shortcut to go directly there, if I recall correctly.
Oh, okay.
And also there was like a human figure at the top of the hatch at the beginning. I've got just a vague memory of that. I wasn't able. It
sounds like you unlocked New Game Plus back in the day.
Maybe.
Because it sounds familiar to me, but I never found a secret, as far as I know. But maybe they're still in there.
Well, he wrote it on the note as well that there are secrets, so we should find it.
Okay, well,
yeah.
That's for someone who buys the game, I guess, because I haven't found that. It could be interesting, because I think you really need to find these secrets in that new game.
To help you out. Yeah, maybe you're right.
It's really tough as the small chick.
But it's tough for me. Was tough also with a big chick, because I think there is this element of again, similar to Rogue, like you have to it's like a sort of chess idea that you move on a tile, but then you got the bomb. You have to think, oh well, in the next turn I'm going to touch the bomb, and then I need a space to move away so I don't get blasted. And if you've got enemies in the vicinity, you have to try and predict where they're going to go. If they lock you in a place, and then you get bombed, plus you get also hit. You have to really think about this. That's why I'm saying, like, oh my God, I thought I was smarter. Well, I never think I'm smarter, but I did it, so I thought I could do it again. And I think I got to the 3rd level. for this particular episode, and I couldn't really go much further. But I was getting better as I stayed there, and I thought about, what am I going to do here?
Right.
I can
you
kick
don't-
this bomb. Where is it going to go?
If you're in a hurry, then it's maybe then you can make mistakes very easily. But if you think about a lot of moves, then it gets easier. You also get the feel of everything more later if you play it more. But yeah, for me, it's a really nice pick up and play game. It's really you boot it up fast and you're playing really fast, and it's really fun, and it's short sessions as well. So I think if you beat this game, it's even fun to just keep playing it. Just try again because of the RNG maybe. Because it's just fun to see what happens in your next run. So it's maybe it's a short game, but it's beautiful. It has a nice atmosphere, really good music as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Really, yeah, I like everything about it. I already told you guys on Discord that it's probably the best homebrew game I played this year. So
it's very polished, isn't it?
Yes.
Very polished.
I wanted to say about that chess aspect that so it's not a game that I would call a puzzle, mainly because I think the movements of the monsters are not really predictable. No, they're not completely random. Some of them seem to follow you or try to get close to you.
Depends on the monster, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, I think so. And then there are some monsters that seems that they want to avoid you instead of following you. But then
also they're running in circles. Some it's a really weird pattern.
Yeah.
Yeah, so let's analyze the monsters when you've said this piece.
Yeah, I mean, it's not completely predictable to the point that it would feel like a puzzle. So you can stop and look at the monsters and guess how they're going to move next, but you never know for sure. And I did find myself sometimes surrounded or stuck. And then you have a serious decision to make because what if you have a bomb to drop? You can do it, but then if you're surrounded and you drop the bomb, there's a risk that you can't get away from the blast. So it might get rid of all the monsters surrounding you, but it might get rid of you as well.
Yes.
So, yeah. So, but this is all part of the fun, and clearly the fact that the levels are never the same twice, it also means that I don't think that you'll easily stop having fun. Well, if you like the game mechanics, you can replay it easily many times again and still have fun because it is a little bit different every time.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, so I was going to say, like, there is some form of AI here as well. Like, the enemies, I think they're intelligent. And I think that because, especially in the second level, I started noticing this. There are some monsters that do not attack you. They just spit bombs. So you can attack them, and they don't attack back. So they tend to run away from you. And I wanted to try and corner one to kill it, but it really knew what it was doing in terms of trying to avoid me. Like, it knew that if I went there in one move, where it had to go, so I couldn't reach it on the next move. And I think it was quite hard for me to actually corner these guys into a nook or a cranny, and then get rid of them, let's say. So I think he's done a good job as well with the AI stuff as well. I call it AI, but you know, how the NES comes back to you with the tactics of trying to avoid you when it can, or trying to corner you. You can tell, like, the flies are immediately drawn to you. They come immediately. They try to follow you. The big flies tend to stay by themselves until they spawn other little flies. There are other enemies that, for example, go in a pattern, but as soon as you touch them, they become something else and they follow you, and they deal maybe more damage because you could have left them alone. Other monsters deal an incredible amount of damage, and some of them also eat through the tiles. So sometimes you want to repair yourself behind some tiles, but some monsters do eat the tiles. Later on during the game, you have tiles of snow, and I clearly remember monsters can get through them. So you're like, oh yeah, I'm here. All the monsters are beyond there, but slowly they eat the snow away and they come towards you. Yeah, it's very. There's a lot of variety, and a lot of effort has been put into. Obviously, as you tell, the art style is for me really gorgeous. They're very vibrant colors, very Taito style enemies, very chibi sort of look, and yeah, overall very charismatic game. And the music also, as you said, readers, it's very, very good and very memorable, as I was humming not long ago. So definitely, as you said, one of the most addictive games. But I think I'm also partial to these games where you don't have much to do and you have to kind of move in the tile and think and do that sort of stuff. There's not there aren't too many options. As you said, to pick up and play, you can just stay there for quite a long time. I had pins and needles in my feet when I finished. But yeah, it was good experience.
Did you have a favorite monster?
I love those monsters which throw bombs at you, because it's really fun to kick the bomb directly back at them and they explode. It's really actually it got easier when those guys were around for me, because you can kick those bombs to all other creatures as well. It's really easy to clear those screens, but of course very dangerous.
Yeah, I was going to say the same. I also love those most of all. They can kick the bomb against you, but if you are fast enough, you can use their own bombs against them or against other creatures, and they're really fun. But maybe on the more artwork side, for some reason I really like those, don't know how to call them, that those monsters that look like half a chicken.
Chicken.
There is only the lower half of the chicken and the upper half is just a bone.
Yes.
Oh yeah, in the later stages, in the slime or something, they're coming out of a sort of slime pool, right?
Yeah, I think they are maybe already been halfway used in some recipe, and or they're like, but they're still walking on, or they are zombies or of chicken or something like that. I don't know, but I found that artwork quite silly, as it reminded me of a very, very old Italian comic illustrator, Iacovitti. I don't know if, Andy, you remember this.
Yeah, he used to draw like that sort of stuff with half bones out. Yeah.
Yes. But very funny looking.
Yeah, I think for me, I don't know. I like the bombs probably best of all, because they are your enemies, but also your aid, and they're sad bombs. So when they're resting, they are like really sad like that, and then they go, they get really angry when you when you wake them up.
They also follow you, but if they follow you for long, they will explode themselves. So you can detonate them, but you also have to be aware to not bring them along too long, because then you're screwed over as well. And that's very well telegraphed. You see like one or two moves before he'll explode, and then one move, he gets redder and redder every move, and then you can really see when he will explode. So it's not at random or something. So that's really nicely telegraphed, and even the final boss has something like that. Really nice telegraph when he does something. So that's also good, that you can anticipate what the enemies are doing.
It's also explained in the manual. There's a so-called cheat sheet about how these bomb monsters work, so that they are first asleep. Well, not all of them. They're not always all asleep. Some of them are. I think they start already moving immediately, but you can kick them once to make them awake, and then it takes 10 turns until they start blinking or they turn red, and then one more turn and they stop moving but they shake, and one more turn they explode. So there's instructions for these in the manual.
Wow, what an existence. Yeah. So this game also, just to go on with the artwork, it just oozes like style everywhere. Like for example, there are, even on the first level, you can see, the big enemies flies that occupy one of the tiles. And then there are other little flies flying around, but they're not really enemies. They're just like part of the, I don't know, background or something. And then there's some like dust on other tiles. It's really very, very well crafted, very nice looking, let's say. And again,
and it's also, I feel it's really at home on the NES. I don't know why, but it feels really like an NES game. Still, it looks graphically really nice, but I don't know. It really has an NES aesthetic, which I really
it
love.
definitely has. Also, it's nice that when you explode the monsters, basically they leave their guts behind. Like, you can see where they've exploded. There's remains on the tiles. There's all this sort of little things that he's put in place that are, I think, they're really nice little touches. And again, the gameplay also is very fluid. Like, how do I put it? So let's say for this podcast we've played other games, that's just different scope, but not as fluid as this. And I don't know how to put it, but you have to test it. Scrolling and stuff was, when I've seen it done in the past in certain games, I was like, oh, this seems to be half done. While this, again, you can see the polish as well in the animations, as you were saying before. And overall, great polish, great look, and great ideas.
And he really thought about the pick and up and play, because what you said, if you die, you get kicked out of the dungeon, and you get that crying chick, but you have to just move 3 places to the up, and then you get into the dungeon again, and you can start playing again. So there's really no friction between you playing it again. You're not getting kicked out, or you don't see a game over screen.
Yeah, you're right.
You don't see the title screen again. You just go play again immediately, which is really fun for me. So everything is positive. I can't think of any negative. Maybe a little bit more content would be nice. But yeah, I don't know. It's
more levels, more worlds.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, sure.
Yeah.
That maybe just speaks about how much I liked it. That I wanted maybe more of it.
Yeah, totally. It was the same for me. Like, the experience. I when I first saw this game, I was immediately in love with it, and I thought it looked awesome. And then I played it, and it was great. And then I played it again now, and I think it's even greater. I don't know if something's changed or not, but maybe it's just me, my mindset and everything. But again, as I said, I was quite addicted when I was playing earlier today, I should say, and it's definitely one of the games that I've come back more often to. So there you go. That's I think there's nothing else. I don't know. There's nothing else that I can think of that needs to be said. The game is not as big in scope as some other ones that we've looked at, but definitely the polish is there. The love and the craft for it is there. And if you wish to go and, buy this and support the family, please do. Think about it. And don't know. Anything to add, guys?
No, I'm still doubting myself to get this game. Of course, the limited run can be pretty expensive to get into Europe, especially with the shipping and the import taxes. But I think this is a game I really want to have in my NES collection, because it's just so fun to sometimes just play on the CRT, and it's just the artwork of the box looks nice as well. So it would be also a really nice shelf material if you're into that. So yeah,
Very good.
Do you want to remind where to get it?
Yeah,
When it's out?
you can buy it or pre-order it until the July the 14th on limitedrungames.com. And it says in the banner of that game, it says forever physical, whatever that means. So it seems that there's only physical copies and no digital ROMs for it. So yeah, I think if you want it, you have to buy it and now. Which is kind of annoying, honestly. It's a little bit. I get FOMO of it. I want it, but yeah. Anyway,
that's what we can do. Anyways, yeah. Definitely, guys, go and check it out. I don't know if we can post a video. We will. If not, you have to wait.
I don't know who to ask, honestly.
Well, can ask obviously Limited Run Games, but I don't think they'll be against it. But we can see. We'll see what we can do. We'll try and obviously advertise this as well on Twitter and see if we can get as much support as we can for the family. That's my goal at least.
Yes.
Right, guys.
Good.
Yes, I'll do the usual game@newgameorflame.com. Write your emails there, and we will read them on the show. Come and join us on Discord. You'll find us. It's cool. Right, guys. Thank you for coming and playing this game. Bit short notice because, we didn't really think this episode through super well.
No, and I think it'll all be going online unedited as well, so then you can hear us stumbling for the first time ever.
Well, yeah, enjoy, guys. Thank you for listening, and keep in touch. See you soon. Bye.
See you next
Bye.
time. Bye.